Welcome to Art with Miss Jen. Today we are learning how to paint gingerbread trains. Here are the supplies you will need. The list is right here. We have a pencil, an eraser, Sharpie, white crayon, a couple paintbrushes, one big and one small, some watercolor paper. If you don't have watercolor paper, regular paper will work too. Some watercolors, a cup of water, a paper towel or napkin, and we are also going to use some sea salt if you have it. So now we're ready to draw our gingerbread train. So you're going to take your pencil and we're going to break our gingerbread train down into simple shapes. So right here you see a rectangle. So we're going to draw in the middle of our piece of paper, we're going to draw a rectangle. Make sure to leave space for the wheels below. Okay, so right in the middle of our piece of paper, one rectangle. Then right next to it is a cylinder shape. That is a rectangle with curvy sides. Draw our rectangle with a curvy end. And then the wheels, you can make them different sizes or you can make them the same size. It's up to you. Need 2 wheels. And then the car is another rectangle. With a couple wheels. So now we can have some fun with our candy details. The baseboard of our train can turn into peppermint sticks. So right below our rectangle, make a long skinny rectangle for our peppermint stick. And one right below our car too. Couple details for our engine for our train. So a little peppermint, a little hot, and a little candy corn, Christmas candy corn. So our wheels can be lollipops or peppermints or M&Ms. What else is a round candy? Gumdrops? What do you think? What does your wheel look like? They can be all the same, they can be different. Have fun with it. And then our licorice track for our train. Do 2 lines all the way across our piece of paper. Right below the wheels. And licorice has those diagonal lines to let us know that this is licorice. Then our smokestack, it's another small rectangle. And then the top of our smokestack, you can draw a chocolate kiss. Or, what do you think? Let's draw a smokestack. So that's what it looks like in real life. You can do chocolate kiss or a marshmallow smoke. Or another peppermint for the top. or some swirly ice cream, or whipped cream. And then in our rectangle, we're going to draw a window for our conductor. And the top can be a nice circle shape. So this could be ice cream. This could be another peppermint. What do you think? And then our gingerbread conductor, we start with his head, so that's a circle. So right on the side of our rectangle, we draw a circle. And his body, we're going to draw an arm and a leg. Kind of like half of a star, two curvy lines. And his hat, so the brim of the hat is kind of curvy shaped. And then the top of his hat, I kind of curved it in and then back out, kind of like a hook shape. And then all conductor hats have stripes. So I'm gonna make some stripes on his hat and the brim. And then the details in the face and the body, eyes, mouth, little buttons for his coat. And now the car. So I drew some gumdrops and a gummy bear. So let's start with our gummy bear. That's a circle for the head. 2 half circles for the ears. And then the round body. And then for his arms, it's just 2 S shapes. So one stretched S shape and then a backwards S shape. And then his face. Eyes, mouth, eyebrows, a nose. And then some other candies. I used gumdrops. That's just curvy lines. Make it simple. Or you can put peppermint in there, some chocolates, some kisses, some candy canes. And then we're going to add a background in. So I'm going to add some triangles for snowy mountains in our background. Nice big triangles. And then for a little extra Christmas, I put in some Christmas lights. So those are diagonal lines on our triangles. And we will paint the lights in with color, so don't worry about that right now. Then the last thing we're going to draw are the details in our gingerbread. So you can draw some snowflakes or some drips from our window, or there's hearts or swirlies. Or you can do stripes. What patterns can you come up with? When you are all done drawing, we're going to take our white crayon and we're going to color in all of our frosting and sprinkle details. This will keep our watercolor from sticking and will make our frosting nice and white. We're going to color in all of our frosting details. The details on our gingerbread man and all of our gingerbread details. any sprinkles. So there's sprinkles for the gumdrops or in our ice cream. Just color everything in that you want to keep white. So now we can start our painting. So we're going to get our big paintbrush, dip it in water, and dab our paintbrush on our paper towel. This gets rid of all the extra water in our paintbrush. So we're going to start with our gingerbread, find some brown. We're going to paint all our gingerbread pieces. Just paint right over it. And as you can see, the brown is not sticking to our frosting. So watercolor will not stick to wax in our crayon. You can paint right over it. Next, we're going to take our smaller paintbrush and we're going to paint in some details. The last thing we're going to paint is our sky. So here is where we're going to use our salt. If you don't have salt, you can do this one step right now. Take your white crayon and make some stars in the sky. Some circles, or draw some stars in just with your white crayon. If you do have salt, you can skip this step. So now we're going to take our big brush, I'm going to dip it in water, and we're going to pick a color for our sky. Now my sky has two different colors, blue and purple. I'm going to get some blue. I'm going to paint some of my sky with blue. And get it really, really wet. Lots of water, lots of paint. You can paint it all one color, or you can use different colors. Just make sure it's really, really wet. And if you used crayon, you can see your stars popping out. They show up. When your sky is really, really wet and really, really colorful, we're going to take our salt. I'm going to sprinkle it all on our sky. If it's too dry, you can add more paint, add more water to get it really, really wet. So what the salt is doing is it's creating all of this cool texture in our sky. So the salt will soak up the water and leave an empty white space around it. So when your painting is completely dry, you can take your painting to the kitchen sink and scrub off the salt with your finger, and it will leave this really cool texture. But it has to be completely dry. If you do it when it's wet, it's going to mess up your painting. Thank you for joining me on Art with Miss Jen. We'd love to see your artwork. Take a picture of it and email it to us, or you can tag us on Instagram.